All right, guys, Fit Rocks are here. I just got smacked in the face by a big old booty and some big old quads. They call her, yes, it's true, Quadzilla. She's also known as Pleasure.
Yeah.
Guys, get your mind out of the gutter. She is Olympia-bound, top Olympian IFBB Pro Welllness, Jasmine Payne. You're going to share some pleasure and pain.
I'm going to share a whole lot. A whole lot.
Well, thank you for smacking me in the face with those quads and the big old ka-dunk-a-dunk.
Big old badonkadonk, girl.
God. Where are you from? What's your nationality?
I'm originally from Mobile, Alabama. So my nationality is Southern.
Okay, all right.
So right now I'm living in the DMV area. I've been there for about 7 years and some change. I went to school in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, played softball, and my brother called me and was like, Jazz, now that you're done with school, what's the next move? Are you going to move back to Alabama? And I was like, no, I kind of want to see what the rest of the world has to offer. And so I've been in the DMV ever since I graduated.
So you're an athlete, though. How did you get involved in the sport? Were you always a wellness competitor, or?
So I've played softball since I was 6 years old. I remember my first softball game, my dad showed up to my game, and I was running away from the balls. It was coach's pitch, and he pulled me to the side, and he was like, listen, I ain't raised no bitch. He's like, if you going to be out here, I'm not about to take off work to come and see you play for you to run away from these balls. You have no other choice but to be the best athlete out here. And I literally have held on to that idea since I was 6 years old. Wow. And he was not kidding, because probably a week after we had that conversation, this mug had his workers in the backyard building a batting cage.
Oh, wow.
And so since I was 6, I've been training. That's all I've known is wake up, train, play ball, come home, train, eat, sleep, train, repeat. And whenever I finished playing softball, I graduated college. I needed something that challenged me in a similar way that softball did. Because when I finished, I was kind of lost. After playing a sport all your life, when it's done, it's like, who am I without softball? Right. And so for the longest, I picked up yoga. And that was cool, but it was a little, a little too zenned out. I needed something had a little more oomph, So me and my friend at the time, we were working at Planet Fitness. That was my first job. Antoine Witherspoon. He's actually on his way to Olympia as well. Oh, yeah. We used to sit and talk about our dreams of flexing on a stage. And at that time, I was entertaining. I think this was probably 2016. And I ended up moving up here. Didn't have a coach, didn't have a community to fall into, and so that kind of dwindled down a little bit. Last June, actually, me and my brother moved to the District Heights area in DC, and we started training out of the Gold's Gym, and that's where I met my coach. And June is when I started my bodybuilding career, and it has literally just taken off since I've started. And that's where bodybuilding started for me. And so I had my first show. I did the Maryland East Coast Classics. Came home with a whole lot of hardware. My neck was a little sore from wearing all those medals. And then I did Universe. After that, by September of last year, I turned pro in North American. And I was like, oh, snap, like I might be good at this.
You think?
Just a little bit. So since then, I've just trust the process and realized that anything I put my energy into, anything that I do on purpose and with purpose, is gonna grow, and it's gonna pay me back. And it just so happened that bodybuilding pays me back in my interactions and also in like fine as hellness. Like all the work I put in the gym, it's like I get the opportunity to reap those benefits every time I look in the mirror, every time I step out and go grocery shopping, and I feel like homegirl on the chip aisle looking at me, and I'm like, I'm just window shopping here. And so that's where it all started for me.
What's it like when people look at you? I mean, how's that feel?
So I've morphed through different stages. I used to be out and about, and it was more like, what the hell are they looking at? Like, I hope they say something like, hey guys. And then my brother helped me realize, he's like, Jazz, you can't get upset when people stare at you. Like, you're something to look at, and people want to know like what you have going on. And so I've kind of morphed into, okay, like now when people stare, I give them a little wink, or I'm like, hey, how are you? And I realize now that I've created a spectacle of myself. I've created this persona, and I love for people to appreciate all of the hard work that I put in. And it's taken some time for me to get there. But at this point, when people are looking at me, I'm just like, yeah, check me out. Y'all see what I got going on. So now when I'm at the airport, if I'm at the grocery store and I see somebody looking, I'll give them a little flex and I'll wink at them. I'm like, yeah, that's all me, baby. So,
well, let me ask you this though: does sometimes that wink turn into trouble where it may not be the right person? You kind of want to wink. You know what I mean? Like they're like, hey, baby, want to hook up? Like, not hook up, but you know what I mean? Hey, can I get your number?
Yep, and that's it. I'll go from flexing like, bye. Bye. As soon as it turns there, I'm just like, okay, never mind.
Peace.
Like, yeah.
How do you get such big legs? You always had the big quads like that?
Yeah, it literally years of being third base catcher, spending my whole life in a squat position. I've always been quad dominant, but now I got the hams and the yams to balance things out. Like when I used to walk towards my friends, they'd be like, dang, she thick. And as soon as I turn to the side, they'd be like, oh, all right. Like no ass, no hamstrings. And now I have like the balance of everything.
Yes.
And so I appreciate, shout out to my coach for helping me to balance all of that. But when it comes to being quad, I've always been quad dominant. And the funny thing is that a couple years ago when I was working for Anytime Fitness in Germantown, the trainer there gave me the nickname Quadzilla. And it was before I stepped into Quadzilla. And so now when I show up, I'm just like, you guys see what I have going on now? Like, it's like
quads.
Hella quads.
And
so I've always been quad dominant.
You got bigger legs than most pro bodybuilder men.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I make sure they know it too. Every time I see them in the gym flexing, I'm like, oh, you want to flex? Oh, I thought somebody came in here to flex. And I take my clothes off like Bruce Almighty, like really quick. And I flex on anybody who wants to see it in the gym.
What's the hardest part of your prep?
The hardest part of my prep is the meals. Like me being Southern, I love to eat. I have an emotional connection to food. That's how we connect. That's how we express our love down south. When you go to grandma's house, she's frying chicken, she's making Thanksgiving size meals, and she's gonna feed you until you're in a coma.
What's Thanksgiving size meals?
Thanksgiving size meals is like a plate full of greens with a side of cornbread, rice and gravy with a little bit of smothered chicken to go with it. Oh God. Like, that's a Thanksgiving size meal. And I remember being a young girl eating like a linebacker. And so to go from eating big portion meals to snacking or to eating nothing with gravy in it at all, like that's been a challenge to me. I also enjoy cooking. And so being able to express myself in the kitchen has kind of come to a pause because I'm pretty much prepping the same thing over and over, and I'm not about to sit here and put no love into bullshit. So the meals have literally been the hardest part of my prep because I'm used to the training. The training doesn't bother me. Waking up doesn't bother me. But one thing I've noticed in the past year is that I inspire so many people. And when I wake up and I go to the gym, like I'm waking up and I'm going to the gym and I'm showing up for myself. And so knowing that other people are depending on me for their success as well, at times that motivates me, and at times that also lights a fire under my ass, and it gives me a slight anxiety. But what I've what I've been able to do is allow that to push me towards greatness, because I realize that I have supporters. I have the East Coast on my back. I have my family on my back. I have Game Time Fitness on my back. And so outside of the meals, just knowing that there are other people looking to me to succeed, that's also been like a bit of a challenge.
I'm going to throw in something. You said East Coast. I'm going to say everybody around is supporting you. Seriously. I mean, from thousands of miles away, because you're very good. And what stands out for me, look, the quads, the body, damn, right? You hear the Friday thing with the guys. Damn. But there's more to it, right? Deep down inside you, you've got this beautiful heart and you got this passion. You love fitness. You love the industry. And it shows. And that's why I'm looking at everything. I'm watching you. And my thing, when I saw you at New York Pro, I was like taken back. I'm like, look at this girl's walking out. You're just owning it, that beautiful $1 million smile. So confident. And I'm like, yes, girl. Yes. And I'm going to be honest, okay? I would love to see you come in there in the top at the Olympia and own it. Because listen, we got the Brazilians, you got, the Latina chicks, but I want to see a Southern girl walk in there and own it.
And the crazy thing
smack
is,
that ass.
I tell people all the time, I'm like, man, the best quads, hams and yams are made down south.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
I tell people all the time, like Soul Food Sundays, that's when I work my hamstrings and my legs and my cheeks and all that good stuff.
You got great cheeks, by the way.
Thank you so
just
much.
Saying.
So it's like, I tell people all the time, like, the best legs are made down south. Like all that food we eat, the cornbread fed. I ain't been cornbread fed in a while, but I still got that cornbread fed build. You know what I'm saying? And so I would also love to go to Olympia and put my mark, leave a lasting impression. Everything I've shown up, and one thing I've realized about my career is each time I show up, I take the feedback from the judges. I take the feedback from people looking online, Wellness Observer, all of the different people that give me their feedback to help me grow. And I apply those changes, and each time I show up, I'm bringing a better package. I'm making those changes. And so I'm looking forward to, first things first, experiencing Olympia, because this is my first time ever being in.
How excited are you?
Like, excited is an understatement. I tell people all the time, I feel like a Sprite that's just been shaken up, and people are like slowly twisting my top off. And somebody needs to bust this cap so that I can cut loose. Because every single day I wake up, I am excited to wake up the next day, to see like what different lines I have in my body, what other challenges I'm able to get over, like mentally. I realize that bodybuilding is not just about my physical strength. This whole process has helped me to gain strength and knowledge in myself holistically, emotionally. Like, I've gone through roller coasters, and you as a competitor, there are times when you wake up and you just cry, and somebody asks, "How are you?" And you're just like, I don't know. And it's like, you can't really put a finger on your emotions. You just need to expel that energy. And one thing I've realized about this whole process is it teaches you a lot about how to expel your energy, where to expel your energy, and how to make sure that you have enough for yourself at the end of the day. Because you're not eating a lot, and because you're working out a lot, you put out a lot of energy. The people who come around you, they're inspired by you, and they're feeding off of your energy. So at the end of the day, if you're pouring your juice in everybody else's cup, you're going to sit down, or you're going to go to sip out of your cup, and it's going to be empty as hell, and you're going to be thirsty. And so I've realized that throughout this process, making sure that I'm constantly recalibrating, constantly checking in with myself to make sure that like I'm okay, so that everybody I come in contact with, I can infect them with good energy. I never want anybody to come in contact with me and leave and feel like I did them an injustice through their spirit, because I love meeting people, and when I smile, they smile. I love connecting with people and hugging people and being able to feel them melt in my arms, or feeling their energy feel safe in my presence. And in order for me to do that, I have to be okay.
Absolutely.
And so I know that was a very long answer to
No, not at all. But I will say this. So you're right about the judging and the feedback. So when you have the top Olympian judges judging you at some of these shows, like a Sandy, Tyler, Steve, you take their feedback and you go with it and you improve on your package, which, again, you've done amazing work. You've competed with some of the best in the world. What was your best look to date out of the shows you've done this year?
My
that you
best
liked?
Look to date, I love the Puerto Rico look.
Puerto Rico's,
it was just something about Puerto Rico. It was real saucy, like maybe laying out in the sun and getting that nice like sun-kissed glow. The feeling of being away and the feeling of just being in that environment. When I stepped on stage in Puerto Rico, couldn't nobody tell me I wasn't the sexiest mug up in there. And so when I stepped on stage, as soon as they called my name, I got the chills. And a lot of the times when I step on stage, that's how I feel. When I hear my name and I see how the judges react to me when I step out, I see them go from writing in their page to not being able to look down because I'm on stage. I'm just like, oh my God, gotcha. Like,
Gotcha.
I got your heart. Like, and so I think that throughout all of the competitions I've done this year, Puerto Rico was where I really allowed myself to kind of like invoke that yumminess and that jazziness that I have inside of me. And I'm excited to continue to.
What can we expect at the Olympia with you? What kind of package? Yumminess, more sexiness.
Oh yeah, a whole lot more.
What do you call the legs again? The yams and the
yams, hams and yams.
Hams and yams.
Whole lot of hams and yams. I'm coming back with bigger hams and yams, ladies and gentlemen.
Hear that smack, guys?
Oh man! So I'm coming back with a tighter package, more conditioned package. At the end of the day, the feedback that I've been getting hasn't been physical. And so the fact that I've been able to adjust my physical appearance is only going to help me out. I've had the opportunity to get back in the drawing board, play around with my angles, play around with my routine to bring more of my personality into my routine. And so I'm really excited.
And we say angles, is that meaning like how you pose and hit?
Yes, my front pose has really been like a lot of the feedback that I've gotten. And so just making sure that I'm showing the judges my best, showing
you have
everyone
a very
my best.
tiny waist too, which is very nice.
I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot.
Don't start crying. No.
That means a lot. Maybe
You work very hard. Obviously, it's not easy. People think that wellness is easy, but it's not, is it?
No, 3.5 hours on a Stairmaster will let you know
3.5
that.
hours?
Yeah, that's the start of my workout. Yeah, man.
Take notes.
My quote.
And you still got big legs like that.
Oh yeah. My quote that I use every single day in the gym is, everybody want to be sexy. Don't nobody want to put the work in. And at the end of the day, you got to work for the sexiness.
Yeah.
I don't just wake up, take a sip of water. Okay, yes, I do. But I also put the work in.
love you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's like I put the work in, and it shows. When I'm in the gym, there are grown men in the gym squatting. When I come around, they get off the squat rack.
Really?
I love that. I love that. And it's I eat it up.
You ever out squatted anybody? I mean, the guys just go in there and kind of show them up. Yeah.
So last week I was in the gym. This man was making a whole lot of noise on the leg press. He had
Like he was making a porno kind of deal?
yeah, man. I was like, you know what? Maybe he needed to expel some energy. He had like 4 plates on each side. So I'm
Okay.
walking by. I'm like, oh, that's cute.
That is
I'm
cute.
gonna let him finish. And so I asked him, I was like, "Sir, are you done here?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "You want me to take it off?" I was like, "Nah, big dog, you good." So I get on there, one-legged.
Oh, one-legged.
One leg press. And so by that time, he packed his bag up and he started curling. I was like, "Oh, it's arm day? I thought you were working on legs."
Oh, right.
So
Poor
there have been
guy.
plenty of times that I've been in the gym and guys see me walking, and even though I'm a small figured girl, like I walk like a giant. I gotta walk around these hams, and so it's like I find myself walking like a cowboy. And so I'll walk in, and they like, "Man, we see you, Zilla. We see you trying to get in on this." I'm like, "What y'all squatting? 315?" Oh no, I already warmed up today. I'm good. You know, so like it's always love and motivation, and I'm always pushing people to do more than what they're doing. You know, so when I come around, people always step the game.
I want to see a video of you walking like a cowgirl, just doing that whole like John Wayne kind of walk.
Oh yes,
Slow motion.
slow mo.
Yeah.
See, you just trying to see my booty jiggle
Yes.
in slow motion.
Well, it doesn't jiggle. It's
It
very
doesn't,
solid. No.
because glutes
No.
don't jiggle, and that's what I don't.
I've
think
seen
people
some glutes that
realize.
jiggle, but they ain't
You
tight.
sure it wasn't ass? The
Uh,
ass jiggle.
wait a minute. Is there a difference between ass and glutes? Okay,
'Cause
educate me here.
I tried to twerk with these new cheeks I got.
Can't
Man, I
twerk?
got to damn near break my back.
Can you make them clap?
All right, I can.
Okay, we're gonna do that later, guys.
Gonna
make that booty clap.
It might be more of like a poetic justice snap.
Okay. We're gonna make my video guy clap his cheeks too.
Oh yeah, I would love to see that. We're supposed to be having a twerk off later, so
Yes.
we're gonna see what those hips are looking like.
I feel bad for some people who have no ass, flat
No
pancake.
ass at all. That used to be me, man. That used to be me.
Whatever. Come on, seriously.
Seriously, like.
What's the
slope
secret?
booty.
How do you get the glutes? Because everybody wants glutes, right? Now you see girls, they're paying for it.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, seriously. And so basically, I have so many days of the week where I bust squats and deadlifts and curtsy squats and lunges.
Curtsy squat.
and
Ooh, that's hard.
Jump squats, and I just tax my cheeks. There have been times where it hurts to sit on my own ass, and I'm like the betrayal.
You know what I would love to see? A video with you and Wusa. Do you know Wusa? Oh, I'll send you the Instagram. Wusa is known for big booty, big legs. You two together would be fire.
Oh man, people wouldn't know what to do with themselves.
No.
They wouldn't know what
No.
to do with themselves.
Not at
I
all.
wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Walk me through. So your coach, give us your coach's name again, and
My coach is Coach B, Burl Randall.
Coach B.
Yeah,
Shout
Coach
out to
B.
Coach B.
Shout out to Coach B.
Who else do you work with? Who does your posing? Just you?
So I started out with tailored posing with Charvez Taylor. She's a IFBB bikini pro. And after she helped me to set my foundation, I took over my posing and kind of jazzed it up a little bit. I'm also a posing coach now that I've developed a little bit. My nutritionist is Jennifer Johnson. Shout out to Jersey Fit. Her Instagram handle is Jersey Fit. And so that's pretty much my team, Coach B, Jen, and
Tell me about your
Charvez.
business, because listen, when you told me your nickname is Pleasure,
Yes.
do you know what I'm thinking?
I mean, yes, I do want to know, actually.
I'm thinking she's a dancer, like a ballerina dancer. Yeah, that Pleasure, or that's her name at the diner. Pleasure. I know.
Diner?
Anyway, it's not diner.
What are we eating at the
Anyway,
diner? What are we eating at the
yams and hams.
Yes. Love it.
But no, Pleasure. So tell us why your nickname is Pleasure.
So, I am very much a Libra woman. When it comes to balancing energies, I do a very good job of balancing masculine and feminine energies. I do a very good job of balancing pleasure and pain. Now, my business is
It's not that, guys.
It's not that, guys. My business is I'm a stretch specialist. And so I help people connect to the imbalances in their body, and I help them to understand why their muscles are working the way they're working, what's causing the imbalance, and I help them alleviate that tension and that pain. And I tell people all the time, my sessions, they don't feel like massage envy. if you come in and you work with me,
Sorry.
like I'm not about to wine and dine you.
Right.
I'm not about to sit here and serenade you with nice music. Like you're going to put that work in. And I've always believed that on the other side of pain is success. And that's literally in all things. When I practiced yoga, it was the exact same way. I would practice yoga to the point to where my body was feeling slight pain because I knew that on the other side of that pain was success or was pleasure. And so I've gotten to the point to where I invite the pain into my life and into my routine because I know that if I don't feel it, then I'm not shooting for success. And so that's where pleasure comes from.
Tell me about GTF. Now I'm going to say this. I stalk you. You have a lot of clients who love you so much, who really think the world of you.
Oh my
and
God,
that says a
blush
lot.
So easy.
What?
I blush so easily.
No, you can blush all you. Just don't cry. Don't ruin the makeup. But no, seriously. Again, just going back, like I said earlier, you have this energy to you. As soon as you make people feel warm and nice. It's like as soon as you walk in, wow. Like somebody may be having a bad day, and then they see you. You just say hello, whatever. You wink at them, whatever it may be. Mm-hmm. You make them feel like $1 million. You really do. And again, just looking at your clients, you can tell like they love you so much because of just how you make them feel and what you do for them. So tell me about your GTF. I literally thought it was something else, being me. I think a different way. But you corrected me on that, so go ahead and lay it out for me.
Coach B will tell you it stands for but it's Game Time Fitness. And so our motto is don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. And every single time we show up, it's game time. And so one thing I love about my team is that when we show up, who Game Time Fitness is. When we're in the gym, who belong, who are the children of Burl. Who belongs to Coach B based off of our work ethic, based off of how we motivate other people, and just our physical appearance. We are go-getters. And even if you don't start out as a go-getter, being around that energy, you're bound to transform into that mindset because energy is contagious.
Yes.
And that's one thing that I preach and practice everywhere I go is that energy is contagious. There have been times I've walked into the gym and the guys at the front desk, they'll be looking all sleepy, and I'll be like, hey, going on with y'all tired ass. Like, I'm coming in here to get this work in, and I'll walk in, I'm like, good morning, hello, and everybody will smile, and I'm just like, yeah, y'all see that? That's energy, baby. And so whatever, like I said, whatever you pour into people, that's typically what you're going to get in return. And so if I can control my energy, if I can amplify my energy, everybody around me, they're going to reciprocate that. And one thing that I've realized is that through me being a opposing coach is that people look to me for their success. People look to me for guidance. People look to me for that positivity because that's the standard that I've set based off of who I am and how I show up in the world. And so I love that is how I'm being reflected in the world. Because honestly, Isabella, I don't realize how I reflect until people like you let me know, because sometimes I'm so eye on the prize and tunnel visioned and worried about, oh snap, okay, my phone just reminded me I have 5 weeks, 2 days to Olympia. Like, oh snap, I need to go hit the Stairmaster again. And so it's like my mind is like zoned in. Someone asked me last week, like, who do you have to win the Arizona show? I'm like, dude, I don't know. I'm preparing for Olympia.
Right.
I have so much other stuff that I'm worried about, or not necessarily worried.
I was going to say, you're not worried.
That's cycling through my mind. That's constantly fueling me to where it's like when people slow me down and they're like, hey, here's a mirror. This is how you're reflecting in this world. I appreciate that because it gives me the opportunity to be like, dang, like y'all notice all the work and effort that I'm putting in.
Do you feel that you're an empath?
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
I totally can see that. All right. So you're 5 weeks from the Olympia.
Yes.
You ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
What kind of suit? Can we know the suit color? Or are you going to surprise us?
I'm going to surprise you.
Damn it.
I'm going to surprise you. It's going to be real royal, though. Real royal,
Okay.
regal. A matter of fact, I'll give you like a little sneak peek. We're going with the Black Panther vibe.
Okay.
You know, Black Panther
Yes,
comes out
yeah,
this weekend, and I'm bringing the Black Panther vibes.
Okay.
So-
Okay. What else do you have going on for you as far as your other enterprises and stuff? Anything else that you do?
So,
Because you look like you have a lot of different hands, even though you're working on Olympia, but you're always doing different things.
yeah, so I've been working with Howard University swim and dive team for the past 7 seasons. I'm their holistic wellness coach.
Oh, wow.
I teach them, the tennis team, and the volleyball team. Basically, I teach them how to take care of their bodies throughout the season. I teach them mindful meditation, yoga practices, everything I wish somebody would have taught me in college. Because when you're in college and you're playing a sport, you tend to put a lot of stress on your body, a lot of stress on your mind, trying to balance being a student and an athlete, trying to balance having a social life and maintaining your GPA so you don't lose your scholarship.
Right.
And so being able to be that sound mind for those athletes, being able to give them coping mechanisms to help them stay sane and centered throughout their 4 years of growth has been a very, very satisfactory experience for me. When I first started working for Howard, I thought that I was just showing up as a yoga coach. I was like, I'm about to go teach these mugs how to do yoga. We're going to get our namaste on. It's going to be great. And it really developed into me molding the minds of young individuals. And it wasn't until the end of the first season where we got a chance to go to I got a chance to travel with them to Orlando, I believe, and we were doing yoga on the beach.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
And I was like, this is amazing. Y'all are paying me to do yoga on a beach right now. And as we're picking up our yoga mats, I heard one of the athletes repeat something that I constantly say to them. And I was like, wow, like they're actually listening. They're actually applying the knowledge that I've been talking to them about. And knowing that when I started with the program, there were over 40% injured individuals at the end of the year to now there being no one injured at the end of the year because they're mindful of their bodies. Mm-hmm. They're mindful of ways to alleviate pain and tension because they're connected to themselves. Mm-hmm. That's the first step to relieving the tension. If you're not aware of what's going on with how many times you wake up and the first thing you do is scroll Instagram.
That's not the first thing I do.
or check in your emails. Or so.
I know people who do, though.
And so there are a lot of people who are disconnected with themselves. Yeah. And just being able to slow down and sift through your own feed to understand where your imbalances are is so important because if you're not connected, then you can't make the adjustments.
I will say this. I did check my phone to see if I won the Powerball. Ooh. That was the first thing I did do.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately,
no, not this time.
No, I'm still here, you see.
It's like, you see me here, right?
But you're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. And so don't you think this also applies to our bodybuilding community? Because a lot of us, we don't know. We're always train, eat, sleep. That's all we know. Mm-hmm. And we disconnect from enjoying and, loosening ourselves because it's a mental thing, as you know. We have a lot of mental illness in our industry. So what would your advice be to someone who is struggling, they may look awesome, but they're you know what I mean? They're at that point where there's so much on top of them. Mm-hmm. So what would your advice be?
My advice would be to balance out their energy. A lot of the times in our industry, we tax our bodies so much. We put so much into.
You diet down, train hard, and supplement smart for months. When the time comes to step on stage, don't leave your tan to chance. Go with the pros. Pro Tan. #1 worldwide since 1987, and the official sponsor of the Olympia for the last 15 years. Don't step on stage without it. Pro-Tan.
Rah, 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 going hard, lifting weights, and that's masculine energy. And so on the other side of that is filling up your feminine energy cup, making sure that you're putting in that self-care. Going and get your nails and your toes done, going to, get stretched by pleasure, And so making sure that you're putting in the time and the resources, the same time and the resources that you put into ordering your supplements, going to the gym, spending all the time in the gym, spending all those resources in pumping your body up. You have to also give your body the relief and the relaxation, because that's how you create balance. Because what happens in your body is whenever you get to the point to where you are thrown off balance, you start to feel frustrated, you start to get agitated, and then you have no outlet because your feminine energy isn't being fed. And so your masculine energy is just trying to take over, and it just causes an imbalance. If you're in a relationship and your masculine energy is up, and then your partner has to try to tip their scale so that they can match your energy, so that they don't set you off. And so my advice to those people would just be to chill out. Chill out, treat yourself, and realize that there's nothing wrong with treating yourself. And I think that's one thing that I had to learn in the midst of me training. I got to the point to where I was like, all right, Jazz, like, it's okay for you to invest in treating yourself. It's okay for you to go and get your nails done, to go and get a facial, go and get a massage, because you're deserving. You have one vessel. You have one body. And this body puts in so much work for you on a daily basis. Not just the work that you're aware of. When you're asleep, your body is recovering. It's still putting in overtime. It's the hardest working motherfucker you know. And you don't even have to ask it to. Right. All you gotta do is lay down, and it's still gonna put in that work. So why wouldn't you treat yourself? It's just like having an employee that puts in overtime and you didn't even ask them to stay, and you're not giving them a bonus, or you're not telling them that you appreciate them in any way, shape, or form. Eventually they're gonna be like, dude, fuck you. I'm not about to keep putting in this overtime for you to not show me any appreciation. And so at times you have to let your body know, like, listen, thank you so much for getting me through this stressful prep. I'm gonna treat you because you're deserving.
What is your goal in wellness? So, obviously for me, I see you in the top 5. I really do. Just because of this whole package you got, every person's different, right? What is your goal in wellness? As an ambassador, what do you want to do to encourage others, inspire others?
So as an ambassador, I want to always bring my best. I told my coach that I want to literally be walking on sequoias. I want tree trunk legs. And I hold this vision. The crazy thing about it is when I met Coach B last year, in May, I walked up to him and I introduced myself. And I was like, I want to be a wellness competitor. He was like, show me your front pose. So I was like, well, I don't know what a front pose is. He was like, and so he went, did the front pose. I was like, dang, he's a little saucy. Did the front pose. I went to the front pose. We trained for the first time that day. The next day I showed up, he came up to me. He was like, you're going to be my first wellness IFBB pro. And I was like, let's go. Let's get it. By the end of that week, he came to me and was like, you're going to be my first Olympian. And I was just like, let's go, let's get it. Sure. And so he's always helped me in my manifestations. And I'm really big on visualizations, manifestations. And one picture that I've always held is being 5-time Olympian, 8-time Olympian, being able to have Olympian titles under my belt. Because of course that voice in the back of my head, shout out mom and dad, it won't let me just show up to participate. They won't let me just, okay, I showed up, I've done this one time, now I can sit down and relax. I'm hungry, literally. I can see that. Yeah. And figuratively. Yeah. And so one thing I want to I want to bring to the table for all those people who are looking to me for motivation is just like, I want them to look at me and know that like I'm a grinder and I will not stop until I'm dead. Like you will literally have to like kill me in order to stop me from reaching.
You're the Terminator. You keep on going on.
Just keep on. Yeah. They're gonna have like you're gonna have to kill me. Like my mindset is like eye on the prize, and so I'm looking forward to just continuing to grow and meeting amazing people in the industry and seeing how being a part of the bodybuilding world, being around all these like-minded individuals who have the same love and passion, understanding how I can be more involved in this structure, because you guys feed me so much, knowing that you have the same goals, you have the same vision, the same drive. It helps to motivate me to keep going on those days where I want to be a bitch and I want to be like, less than, knowing that, you know what, Isabella is like, she's making sure that she's getting up and she's putting in the work. She might be tired today. Like, I can't stop. You know what I'm saying? And so being able to be that for other people is already a blessing in a sense, but I want to continue to grow and do more so that people will have more to strive for, so that they'll know that whatever dreams and goals you have, like, I raise you.
Right.
Well,
so. You look good, and I'm going to say you're very young, too. You look very young.
Oh, do I?
We're not going to go over age, but I'm just saying you have a very bright future. Let me say this to you that I want to bring up. So with the Welllness, you want to, obviously, I would love to see you win a wellness title. Can it be done? Absolutely. And I think I see the hunger in your eyes. Mm-hmm. You're fierce. You're going to take down whoever's in your way. Is there anybody that I'm not going to say concerned, but is there anyone who you're excited to be up against on that stage?
Yes, I'm excited to see Dr. Sunny Andrews again. I'm excited to see Giselle again. Basically, everybody that's beat me, I'm excited to see them again. Not just because they beat me, but because those girls are amazing individuals. Their hearts are so pure. Their intentions are so pure. And I'm looking forward to being able to share that stage and that opportunity to flex for the world with those other individuals. And they know I'm coming.
I hope they have you at the Meet the Press conference. That'd be fun. Mm-hmm. I think you can do some good shit talking.
Oh, yeah.
Bring some energy, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, in saying that, are you going to be, I think we're pretty much done for shows. We have the Rising Phoenix next weekend, and I think that's it for Welllness, right? Mm-hmm. In your opinion, what can we do to make the Welllness division grow more?
In my opinion,
I mean, it's like as far as like social media, doing more social media stuff. What do you think?
Now, my take on social media has been like a little like iffy, because I've realized that in my career, like politics is in everything, and social media, I'm excited that I just made it to 6,000 followers. I was just like, oh my God, I'm popular, but I don't always capture my progression.
Sure.
And so what we can do in order to grow Welllness is celebrate those people who look Welllness,
sure.
Not necessarily because of how many people are following them, not necessarily because of who they're connected to, but because of the look that that is being sought after.
I agree with that.
And so that's my only feedback with that. Because to put in all of that work and to be told, you know what, you got the package, we just want to see you more, or you got the package, you just need more followers. It's it's a little jousting, you know.
What does mom and dad think of you now as this big superstar
Oh man.
and going to the Olympia?
Oh man.
Are they going to be there?
Yes, they will.
Great.
And my granny's gonna be there
Aw,
too.
how old is Granny?
So my granny is 70. Oh, Granny, please don't be mad at me. 73. I think she's 73.
She's just a baby.
So my granny, she came to my first show, Clash of the Titans in Atlanta. And my granny used to tell me all the time when I was younger, girl, go put some damn clothes on. I've always been like this, guys. Like, never liked wearing clothes. And to hear her cheering for me, cheering for my cheeks in the crowd, like, oh my God, that's my baby. I was like, you realize you were cheering for my butt cheeks in the crowd. The same lady who used to make fun of me for not wearing clothes. And so my family, they are extremely proud. And that's what I live for. That's what I strive for. My brother's my best friend, and he just did his first show last week, and he got first place. And so
Classic physique? Yeah, I saw that.
Yep,
Yeah, you
classic
look great.
physique. And so my dad, he got a chance to come and watch me compete in Pittsburgh.
Oh, wow.
And he showed up and he told me, he was like, Jazz, he's like, the way that these people receive you is crazy. He's like, you're really out here like doing the damn thing. And I looked at him, I was like, you ain't raised no bitch. Did you forget? Like, did you forget what you taught me? Like, I didn't just come here to show up. Like, it's been in my mind. And so my mom, to see me go from being this rough and rugged little girl that likes playing in the dirt, you know what I'm saying? Like scars on my knees and elbows from diving. And
No Barbies for you.
no Barbies for me. I was racing boys on the pavement.
Were you a bully?
Barefoot. Like,
Were you a bully?
no, I'm a lover, not a fighter. All these muscles are for show. Like,
right.
And so to go from that to just the pageantry, to seeing me all dolled up and seeing me comfortable in my skin. Like there was a time when I was playing softball that I wasn't comfortable in the way that I looked. And so to know that I've been able to harvest all that energy and make it my own, my mom, she's happy with the woman that I've become because she sees the holistic growth. My dad sees that I still have that go-getter in me that he planted way back in the day. My brother understands like how much he motivates me to just get up and show up every single day. There are certain days I come home and my brother will ask me like, how are you, sis? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, and I'll start crying and he'll hug me and he's just like, you know what? Like, you got this, you know, and that's all I need to hear from him. Mm-hmm. And so my brother has always been the one to help me understand how I reflect in the world. Always shine that mirror and let me know, like, you might feel like a bitch right now, but just know it's temporary.
Right.
And so my family, my younger brother, he, like, everybody is excited for what's next because they've seen how quickly I've progressed in the bodybuilding industry, and they're looking forward to seeing what I can do next.
What advice would you give your younger self?
Ooh, advice I would give my younger self is to be comfortable with getting to know who you are based on who you want to be, not based on who other people want you to be.
Okay. Guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure. Sardi's chicken, Peruvian char grilled chicken,
Okay. I like it.
and marijuana,
Nothing wrong with that.
and yep, chicken, marijuana, and sex. Guilty pleasures.
That's a lot of great guilty pleasures.
That's what helps to like balance me out, girl. All that rah-rah, I need that at the end of the day.
So I'm just going to tell you right now, you're going to be loaded with DMs.
Yeah.
So be prepared. What is the biggest thing you had a fan ask you or say to you that's kind of like took you back, like either a good thing or like kind of like, what? Did he just really say that?
So one thing I've had a fan ask me that I wasn't used to was the whole muscle worshiping thing. I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I didn't understand. I didn't understand that. So the muscle worshiping DM I got was probably one that that I had to kind of like read and then act like I didn't read it for a while to gather myself. I also had a girl reach out to me and tell me how fine I was, and she wanted me to peg her. And I had to go.
She wanted to peg.
Yeah, she wanted me to peg her.
You to peg her.
I had to go on Urban Dictionary and was like,
wow.
What's pegging?
It's a game, I think. Chess or something like that?
Chess.
Is that kind of related to that?
Checkers, stack
Peg.
two on top.
So what was your instant reaction when you heard, when you looked it up?
My mouth, like, fell to the floor. I was just like, wait, how much she trying to, nah. And so I asked my brother, I was like, does this mean that I'm a prostitute? And he's like, no, it means that you're employed. And I was like, dude, like, no. So when I actually read the message, I had to leave it for a while. And I just ended up not responding.
Delete, block.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
And you know what, to be honest, there are guys who pretend to be women who may actually say those things. I don't know if it was real women, but that's interesting. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah,
so,
man. And the thing about it, she didn't even introduce herself. Like, I felt like objectified. I was just like, first of all, nice to meet you. Like, my name is Jasmine and yours is? Like, come on now.
Can you peg me, please? Oh, God.
You don't just go straight to home.
You'd be surprised. Yeah, right? But anyway, so I'm excited for you at the Olympia. I think you're going to make some serious noise. Get the crowd going. You've got a great physique. The glutes, nobody can touch those things. Nobody. And the legs. And just everything. Your whole package is just gorgeous. Got this great personality on top of that, which is a bonus. It's very rare. Well, actually it's not, because we have a lot of great athletes. But I've seen a lot of people who have these phenomenal physiques, yet they don't really have that true personality. You got to pull it out of them. You, on the other hand, like I said, as soon as you walk out, what's cool about it is you're so genuine. It's genuine. It's not like fake. You can see fake smiles, fake. You're just like, yeah, okay. Wink, wink, put that ass out there, the legs. Now, do you do the quad flex and the bang kind of thing? Okay, make a video of that. I like to see that.
I got you. I'll make
That's
it real.
hot. I like that. But anyway, I'm going to leave it with you because I know you got to get ready for the big O. Anything you want to say to your fans, your family, motivation, sponsors, go for it.
Yes. Shout out to my sponsors, Project AD, Gold's Gym in the DMV area, Bowie and Richie. Shout out to my team, Game Time Fitness, Coach B, everybody in the DMV area. Shout out to my family down in Mobile, Alabama. Hopefully I'm making all of y'all proud. Shout out to my, I think that's everyone. Shout out to everyone who are constantly showing love and feeding me and pouring into my cup. I appreciate all of you guys who are letting me know how I am showing up and how I'm reflecting in this world. And I'm hoping that throughout my journey, you are continuously inspired, and everybody want to be sexy. Don't nobody want to put the work in. So we're going to keep putting this work in all the way to the O, baby. 5 weeks, 2 days to go. We'll keep hammering.
Well, I got to tell you real quick, Project AD, I love them. Very clean supplements. And my favorites are Shreddable and most of all, Matador. Yes. That Matador is gold.
Oh my gosh.
Professor Nuts, the best peanut butter.
They have a new flavor out.
Which one is this?
They have a cinnamon crumb cookie. It just dropped last week.
I like their caramel. I can eat the whole bottle. And it doesn't even affect you. That's the interesting thing about it.
Go straight through you.
I saw your little spoon.
Girl.
I don't need, I just need it.
Guilty, but the thing about it, they sent me that spoon because they already know, like, I do the most. If my coach tells me I can have a spoon, that spoon is going to be real hefty.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, they knew what they were doing, sending me that measuring option.
Great people, though. But again, thank you so much, Miss Pleasure. The Quadzilla, the queen herself, Jasmine Payne. Look at those biceps. All right, tone it down a little bit, making us people over here feel small. Anyway, it was a pleasure having you. Can't wait to see you at the Olympia. And Fit Rockstar getting booty smacked again, quad smacked by Miss Jasmine Payne. We will see her at the Olympia. Fit Rockstar signing off.